I'm going to hide the mesh for a few minutes. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to envelope the skeleton, the mesh, with our rig. But first, I'm going to show you how to create what you call a shadow rig, which is going to be just a bunch of nulls that would be constrained to our bone hierarchy. Thinking a little bit of like if you're going to export to a game engine, or even if you want to like have your envelope mesh and be able to change the rig without affecting your envelope weights. This is when it becomes super useful. Let's do it slowly so you can understand. What we would have to do is come here, get a null. We have something here, let's get rid of that. So let's see, we have a null. And we have to constrain position to one of the bones. And we have to do that null, constrain position, and also constrain orientation. What I would do is constrain pose. So basically we can remove all constraints if you want. Remove constraints and just do constrain pose, constrain pose, and we will have to do that for every bone in the character. I'm going to show you a simple way to do it faster. Involves just simple scripting, but will be useful for all your other characters. Right now we're creating a shadow rig. So it's independent, and wherever we move our character, our shadow rig will follow. So parent this two guys to a rig like that. This way everything follows. Okay, so let's see, we went through like creating a null constraining to each bone in the hierarchy. If it's a simple character with a few bones, it's fast and easy, you don't have to do that much. I'm going to show you how to do it a different way with some of the tools that XSI has provided for us. I'm going to create a new layer. This layer is going to be called shadow rig. I'm going to set it as default layer. By pressing Alt 5, you get the Softimage net view. Search for bones, and you'll get a nice script that says bones to boxes. See what's going to happen. Let's run it. We have to have something selected. We have to select a rig and run it. And this script will create boxes that will surround our character that it could be useful to animate. I'm going to hide the rest. And the script created boxes all except the pelvis because it only looks for bones in a hierarchy. But this way I can hide my mesh and just animate with boxes, which is useful when you're animating. What we're going to do, select all objects and layers and delete the boxes like that. We're going to take this script, just close all the windows, boxes, open the script editor. I'm going to clear all, and I'm going to drag and drop this bones to boxes script, and we're going to modify it. So instead of creating boxes, we're going to create nulls. Instead of parenting, we're going to constrain, and we're going to customize it a little bit like that. So if I run it, we're going to get boxes. So we want to create nulls. So the first thing we have to do is, instead of create primitive cube, we're going to get a primitive, and we're change the cube to null. Doesn't have to be mesh surface. And it's going to append the name bound underscore the name of the node. So it would be useful to rename your character like thigh, femur, and so and so and so. So if you see the rest, it's just copying values from, let's say, process 1 is our null in this case, and it's going to get the value. So we're going to do the following. So it's going to create a null and rename it to bound underscore whatever the bone is named. We can remove the log message, we don't need that. And then it's going to copy the scaling values, rotation values, and position values of the bone. So what we're going to do is get a null, constrain, pose to one of the bones, and see what we have in the script. We have apply pose, apply constraint, what type of constraint, which is a pose, from the null, this is the target, to the bone. So we're going to use this script to create our own. So if you go to apply constraint, we don't need a cube length, it's not a cube. Apply constraint, what type of constraint? A pose. To whom? To process 1. And then who is the bone? In this case, it's a node. How do we know it's a node? It's a skeleton in the hierarchy. So if we come here and do it, apply constraint pose process 1 node. We can remove. I'm going to just leave the last one. I'm going to cut it or comment it out like that. So let's see when we run the script. Here, let's run the script. We need something selected. Let's select the rig and run the script. So if I turn the rest of the rig, we have a chain of nulls constraint. So if I go to the rig and show the rig, the bones, the nulls follow. So basically you could say you're done. We're just going to customize it a little bit. Select all objects in layer and delete it. Okay. So the next thing would be, let's see, if we get a null and we modify from none to display to a box, see, and then the custom, make it green color like that, and we're going to use these commands, set values. So it's like this, set value who. Just going to copy this, set value process 1, and we have primary icon 0. Perfect. I'm going to copy it again. The second one would be shadow icon 4. I need to get rid of one of the dots over here. The third one would be this one, and would be shadow color custom true. We can test it if you want, see what happens. select the rig, run it. We get boxes. We didn't have the green one yet, so select layer, select all objects in layer, delete them, and we missed a command about, let's just do one more. None, box, custom, and green. We need this command to make them green. So this would be set value and .g1. Now we're going to have green boxes all over. That's good. The next thing we want to do is just place them halfway of the length of the bone and make them the size. How does that work? Let's see. Null, or even the one we have here. If I constrain the pose to, let's say, the femur over here, since it's a shadow bone and it's a shadow icon, we can position it wherever we want it. So we want to position it halfway through the bone. So that's why I told you to keep this command line. So set value, and you can see it's shadow offset in X. So like this, they would position it halfway through, and then we want to have the size equal the bone length. So you can see the same one, but this one would be shadow scale X. Like that, get a value, and okay, let's try it out. So select the rig, we're in our layer, run the script, and bam, without doing anything, we got some boxes to work with. Our shadow rig's perfect. We need to create one more, which would be the pelvis. That we'll do that manually, but otherwise it's good. We're going to save this script as create your rigging, scripts, bones to boxes, bones to nulls. So if you get tired of following it, or you don't get really what we're doing, just run the script. Just go here, file open, and run the script. Should work for you. So now that we have a shadow rig, and we're going to reuse the same script later on. I'm going to take one of these ones, duplicate, remove all constraints, and I'm going to constrain pose to the pelvis. And I'm gonna just like that, maybe like that, maybe make it, instead of a box, a ring. That would be the pelvis. Maybe just make tad. That's fine. So we have our character and we have our rig. Right now we can see that these are kind of hard to select, so we'll make it 2, and also our ankles 2. If we look at our hierarchy, I would recommend just selecting all the objects in our layer. We can either leave them there, or I'm just going to cut them, refresh, get a null, and parent everything to the null. Skull shadow rig.